And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West, live and exclusive to YouTube. I'm your host, Swishbone, for the remainder of the evening. For those of you who've never seen this channel before, this is all about playing blind, live reactions, bad jokes, and plenty of banter in the chat box that way. So, of course, you want to get your comments in there. I'll do what I can to get through those for you for the rest of the evening. For those of you who've been here before, whether you were here for the previous parts of Horizon, you watched me finally get past the hell that was Dante's Devil May Cry. Maybe you've been here for the Persona and Danganronpa series, or perhaps you were even there way back in the day for Forza 4 and Final Fantasy 7. Either way, a huge welcome back to all of you, because while this channel would be active without you, it wouldn't be as interactive or reactive. And well, last time we faced off here, we just got back from one of the extra main quests, so we're going to carry on with that as we speak. Not done any grinding, not done any offline work, we're literally going back to where we began.
Safe travels, champion.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, Avian jumping in already saying hi, good evening to you, how are you doing? And you say happy Wednesday, the hump day. Well, for me, it's a pretty good day, actually, because tomorrow is a shorter day. I'm only in for a few hours. I'm finishing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. And while I normally finish at that time in the office anyway, I don't have to start till 9, so I've actually got a shorter day. I'm really rather happy about that. I've also got a rather important interview, so I'm not going to be on as late as usual tonight, but we'll see what kind of coverage we get up to. And you have indeed made it, so welcome to the stream.
Forget it. The man is unbeatable at machine strike.
His people invented the game. What did you expect?
Kotalo can't win every time. Try to be optimistic.
Try to be realistic. We're terrible.
Well, you got to be better than me, guys, so I'm not doing it. Let's talk to Val, see what he's got to say.
From the look on your face, I'd say the mission was a success.
I got Omega clearance. Is everyone ready to head out to Cauldron Gemini?
As soon as you give the word.
I see all of us settled in nicely.
Our new Quen friend? The moment she laid eyes on the archives, she jumped on them like a long leg.
Yeah, that's Alva for you.
I mean, you say Monday was awful at work because basically people who cover your desk do the bare minimum and leave the rest up to you. That's awful. There's nothing worse than having a lack of team play when you're out of the office. I've been there myself in many jobs. It's not like that where I am now, but I know exactly where you're coming from, Avian. Very, very disappointing.
Anything new with you?
Aaron tried to convince me to help him build a... what did he call it? A drum set? I'm pretty sure Zoe would kill him if it got any noisier around here.
Those two are having a hard time getting along, huh?
They're both stubborn, but they mean well. I'm sure they'll warm up to each other eventually.
Keep hearing the backstory of the
Is there
characters.
anything you need from me before I go?
Not unless you can somehow make me or Aaron better at that Tanakh board game, Strike. Now that Kotalo started playing, I don't like our odds.
I'm surprised he agreed to play.
Someone might have told him Aaron helped defeat the Mad Sun King. He got friendlier after that. Still doesn't talk much, but he'll sit down for a game whenever he can.
This mission isn't gonna be easy. Hope you haven't been slacking off on your training.
And risk Zoe coming after me? I value my life. At least you found the Omega clearance. That should help.
Wish that was the only thing I found. I knew finding Thebes would lead me to Ted Faro, but I never imagined he'd end up like he did.
How bad was it?
Bad.
He destroyed the world and crawled into a hole after killing those who saved it. If you ask me, he deserved whatever he got.
That he did.
Although we never got to see it because, of course, they set him on fire off
How's everyone
screen.
feeling?
Everyone's curious about Alva. It's amazing to think there's an entire tribe across the Great Waters who've been using focuses for longer than I've been alive. Zoe's been trying to get Alva to run her through Quen history, but she seems a bit shy around her.
From what I gather, the Quen get punished if they share data. She just needs some time to get used to us.
Makes sense. We'll give her some space.
I mean, I wanted to see like a Danganronpa style execution punishment time, but wasn't happening.
How's Aaron doing?
Making sure we all hear the tale of Aloy and Erend, striking down the remnants of Dervahl's followers with hammer and bow.
It was a pretty good fight.
So I've heard. 5 times, actually.
Oh, poor Val. He missed out on the action, and now he has to hear it all second hand. I understand his frustration. And I'm still upset about it too, Evian. I wanted to see it too, but the game was like...
So, you and Zoe got into a bit of a fight, huh? Should have known better than to suggest Hephaestus could make new land gods to replace the old ones in Plainsong.
The last thing I wanted to do was dismiss their traditions. But I was trying to look at things differently. More like you know? To see a machine as just a machine.
Yeah, I guess I led you into trouble there, didn't I?
Not your fault. Don't worry.
He's a pretty good bro, to be fair, Val, isn't he? He takes it on the chin and carries on.
Looks like things between you and Zoe are better now.
I suffered through a few hours of glaring silence. Then she seemed to move on. Sort of. How do people do this? How do I know if the next thing I say won't blow up in my face? What if an apology is not enough next time?
You give her a stuffed animal?
Oh, come on.
You know that?
What makes you think I know anything about any of this? You're on your own.
Abandoning me again, huh? Well, if she kills me next time, it's on you.
And Aloy's like, oh no. Anyway, let's say, I mean, I've been there when you say something to your partner and you go, what's wrong? And they just go, nothing. And they spend the rest of the day like this. But I'm the guy who goes, that's clearly something, judging by your reaction. And all I get is as my response to the next day and a half. There's a reason why I'm single, people.
Once Gaia is back up and running, I expect you to put all your training to good use.
The seeds have been planted. All they need is a chance to bloom. What? I thought that was pretty good. Zoe liked it.
I'm glad you and Zoe found each other.
Don't forget, you're to blame for that.
Yeah, it's a good point, Avian. Yeah, what you said, the developers might have struggled to come up with the idea of a mutated Pharaoh and how he would have looked. The only issue is if they'd looked up the Resident Evil games, people would accuse them of ripping off Resident Evil. So they're kind of between the devil and the deep blue sea on that one. So I can understand why they kind of left it alone.
Now that I have Omega clearance, we can grab Hephaestus and finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
Can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging Thunderjaws.
Better them than us, for once.
Why does that sound too easy? I don't like this.
Should go get this to Gaia.
Of course. Let us know when we're needed.
I'll go through what Aaron and Zoe have to say, and then I will go and talk to Gaia.
There she is. Heard you had an interesting time at Thebes.
Maniacs, lava, what's not to like?
I'll remember that next time I go traveling.
At least I got what we needed to trap Hephaestus.
Good thing I got my gear ready then.
Let's talk about the companions.
Have you spoken with Alva yet?
Yeah, when she's not reading the archives like a giddy kid drinking her first ale. She took to that new focus quick, that's for sure. I gotta say, I'm a little jealous. But I can see why you two hit it off.
What do you mean we hit it off? What are you trying to get at?
You look tired.
Ha! You never want to hold back, are you? I've just been making sure that I got everything down for this mission of yours. I wouldn't want to be the usual screw-up out there.
You'll do fine, Erend.
Yeah, you're like me, Avian. You don't trust it, do you? It all seems too easy. I'm saying that in inverted commas, by the way. All three cores of Gaia have been a nightmare to get to.
I should get going.
We've had to cross the Forbidden West.
Heading after those
But
cauldrons.
I'll give you the heads up.
I mean, for example, we haven't seen the return of, oh god, what's he called? I've actually forgot his name. He's been out of the game for so long. The big bad in the first place. He's not come back. We've not seen that tribal leader ever since the big battle on the plains. There's too much. We've not seen anything of the actual Zeniths either. There's too many pieces that just haven't been followed up on.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Have you met our new Quen guest yet?
I could barely keep up as she gave herself a tour of the base. Varl gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the data we had here, she turned so pale I thought she'd faint on the spot. We showed her to the archive room so she could see for herself. She hasn't left the place since.
Sounds like Alva. How are things with everyone?
Slightly quieter. Aaron's been busy scouring data on his newest obsession. Apparently the old ones wrestled machines as some kind of performance. Called it metal versus meat. A must-see battle between steel and flesh, as Aaron likes to put it. You'd think we have enough of that going around as it is.
Metal versus meat. Was that the tagline for WrestleMania 52, maybe? We're gonna have metal versus meat! Brock Lesnar versus the Terminator! Get that booked right now! And yes, that's my best Vince McMahon impression. I know it sucked.
Read anything interesting lately?
I found out the old ones use leaf infusions like the Utaru do. Tea, they call it. Apparently it helped soothe them. That and some sort of scented wax they used to cleanse their aura. Plus something called bubble baths. I think I'll stick to singing to calm the nerves.
Over here, tea is very, very popular, but I very much prefer my coffee.
I assume you've been looking into Demeter now that Gaia's merged with it?
Yes. It's been humbling to know that the seeds I carry in this pouch came in turn from the seeds saved for Demeter in the old world. It gives me hope that the cycle of life will prevail now, just as it did before.
I need to get going.
Right. You've retrieved the Omega clearance. That means we'll be going after Hephaestus soon. I'll make sure my gear's ready.
Now, see, you like both tea and coffee. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike tea. I just much prefer coffee. I think it's because everyone believes that being British, all we do is eat crumpets and drink tea. It's not a completely inaccurate assessment, let's be fair, but it's not very true either. What's going on here? What on earth have you guys done to the place? I'm not complaining, but... Ah, so that's the other way out. Well, now that I've done those, I can at least save my game. Might as well. While I've got the chance. Look at that, 90 hours I've sunk into this game, people. 90.
I figured it'd start snowing soon.
Oh god, the cucumber sandwiches. Oh, but of course we go for the cucumber sandwiches and the tea and everything else right here. Yeah, the real streets of England, they're rough round the edges. We don't do any of that shit. No, we do like a good sandwich for lunch. That is actually still very true. Right, here we go. Let's see what Gaia has to say. Let's load.
Aloy, I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. But the net effect is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Hey, boy. You better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
So let's find out what bad shape means then. Let's go.
So the old ones had cows, and
Straight down to the dank dungeon depths.
Aloy. I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think anything will convince her to go.
She's lots
We
of
don't have
self-firm.
a choice.
Good luck.
Oh, never mind.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. The most important one. We need you. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone, in a cell again. Their slave. Forever.
Let's go. Well, let's go with the heart embrace one.
Varl and I will be at Gemini too. I'll protect you. As soon as we get Hephaestus, we'll come straight back here. The Zeniths aren't going to find us. You don't have to be afraid. No! You can't protect me. Nothing can protect me from them. I told you from the beginning we'll never beat them. It's hopeless. Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand!
Two sides of the same coin.
You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect?
You didn't have a father. Or a mother. That's where we're going with this, people. That's where we're going with this.
Beta. You don't have a defect. Beta. Look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe. But then he gave his life for mine. He loved me in his own way. And that was enough. What did it feel like? It was like having the strength that was always there. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when things get bad. But it looks impossible. Look deeper. And then fight like you can win.
Oh. It's a convenient nod of the head from the hologram there. Still, I understand what they're going for with the scene.
You don't have to go on the mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. You said you'd try to protect me. I believe you. But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad, if the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Do you understand? Okay. Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study up on the merge, to make it as efficient as possible. I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
Aloy, whenever you're ready, come speak to me and I'll ask the others to make final preparations for the mission.
Well, now that we've seen that scene, let's do another quick save while we can, actually.
Ones put blades on their feet.
Oh, that's interesting. There's a side quest showing available here.
Does sound fun, though.
What side quest? Is that Alva? What does she want?
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Not at all. I was just studying the pulse generator schematics. The ones Gaia and Beta built. The craftsmanship is remarkable. Is everything alright? It sounded like there was an issue with Beta and the mission.
Not anymore. We just needed to talk some things through.
To understand one another is to embrace truth. Oh, and if you have a moment, there's something I could use your help with.
Ah, right, okay, so I've got a full wheel for her. Okay, let's quickly go back through the other options.
Have you spoken with Zoe at all?
A little bit, but I did hear her singing with Varl not too long ago. I don't think they noticed. Zoe seemed so free when she did it. Like every emotion she had was taking flight in song. And she looked happier because of it. I felt so dull and nervous in comparison.
You should ask Zoe to teach you sometime. About Utaru music.
Maybe.
If you need anything before heading out to the cauldrons.
You have nothing to worry about. Gaia's explained your plan in detail, as expected from such an efficient AI. I've even received some very, succinct combat advice from Kotalo.
Sticking with the party
You
on.
know, in case the Zeniths show up.
What kind of advice?
He, told me to run.
For now. We'll even the odds soon enough.
To be fair, that's very good advice. These Zeniths seem to be pretty much invincible to any kind of weaponry Aloy had, so running is a good idea. Kotalo is not an asshole. He's not taking the piss there, people.
Any more data catch your eye?
All of it? I have so much to study up on. Years, actually. I'm particularly interested in the Odyssey. We knew the ancestors had made it to the moon. In fact, we theorized some of them had settled on it. But Sirius is way farther than that. And we thought journeying across the ocean would be the feat of a lifetime. The sheer calculations needed for space travel. It's overwhelming to think about.
Even so, the Quen are way ahead of other tribes when it comes to understanding this stuff. Where I grew up, everyone thought that stars were sparks that rose from a fire lit by the goddess to guide us through the night.
Well, technically they were lit from a fire. It's just a fire that has a core that's about maybe 14 million degrees Celsius. And it was lit by a spark of hydrocarbons and hydrogen atoms, so technically they're not wrong. Just nowhere near the truth of the answer.
Must be strange to think that some of the ancestors your tribe reveres are still alive. And here on Earth, right now.
Yeah, it is. Part of me's curious to know who else besides Eric Visser might be among them. Maybe Nikita Arand? We call her the Spark. The legacy tells us she brought unlimited energy to the Old Ones. Or Sung Jiao, whom we call the Healer. It is said she found new ways to extend the ancestors' lifespans. But my curiosity fades when I think of how different our view of Visser was compared to the reality that you experienced. Perhaps it is better not to know.
The way that Alva was describing them then was almost like an old school JRPG party. You've got the tank who hits everybody in Visser. You've got the healer. You've got the spark of... It's like the mage, the healer, and the physical character, wasn't it? I wonder if that's going to be a spin-off. Horizon, the tabletop dungeon crawling RPG. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, people.
You mentioned there was something you needed help with?
Yes. So, as I was sifting through data from the greenhouse, I found references to an old world system back in the Great Delta. It's called Leviathan. My people discovered it decades ago. A sprawling network of river gates and a labyrinth of underground tunnels. The legacy revealed that the Old Ones used it to control flooding. But we've never gotten it to work. The whole thing is shut down. But the data from the greenhouse mentions the research facility where Leviathan was created. It's in San Francisco.
Another Pharaoh facility?
No. Leviathan was a project by Eileen Sasaki, another ancestor. So the legacy tells us, anyway. If we can acquire that data, we might be able to fix the system back in the Great Delta. Every year, my sister gets terrified when the long rains begin. With Leviathan, maybe she won't have to be.
Okay. So, where in San Francisco is this facility?
That's the thing. The data doesn't say where, exactly. But one of our diviners has been exploring the ruins. He might know. Would you come with me? I have a feeling that wherever this facility is, well, you're much better at fighting machines than I am.
Of course. I'll let you know when I'm in landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
Right, so that's another side quest unlocked, which I'm not going to do right away. I want to find out what's going on with the main quest first.
About the pulse generators.
May your path lead to truth.
But first, I want to find a place to save my game again.
And, like I said, I'll let you know when I'm in landfall. We'll find the data you're after.
I appreciate it.
I actually do like Alva. I think she's a cool character.
Plugging in that power cell downstairs must have turned on these holograms.
Is there anything hidden in here? Doesn't look like it. No.
There's Gwen stuff in here now. Must be all of us.
Have I examined this data point? Don't think I have. Not sure. Text log. Data corruption minimal. Ever since the expedition landed and we encountered barbarians, Tenakth, a question has been gnawing at me. Given the massive distance between here and the Great Delta, how is it possible that we all speak the same language? I mean, the legacy tells us that the ancestors have many languages. How did it all get reduced to one? For questions like these, it's handy to have a friendly super intelligence around. I love Gaia. She's so nice and patient, even when I can't stop talking and bombarding her with overlapping queries. And while she can't explain everything I ask her, for this one, she had the answer. Apparently, the Zero Dawn system was designed to release people into the world as young adults, after being educated via the Apollo database. I sure wish I could have gone to that school. Language instruction was supposed to be a big part of the coursework. Students would be encouraged to learn many languages, thus keeping them alive, the vibrant linguistics of the old world. When Ted Faro raised Apollo, he makes me so mad! Zero Dawn reverted to its default language, and that all the kids in the cradle facilities ever got. So our ancestors, our tribal ones, not the legacy ones, all started with the same speech and never got to learn any more. Mystery solved. Yet another rotten, completely unfair thing that shithead, beg my pardon, did to the world. Oh, I like her even more now. She's just condemned Todd Farrow for being an absolute twat. basically embraced the realities different to all the teachings and revelations she was made to learn. Yes, Peter, people, there is character development. From one of the side characters, who's only just joined. I appreciate that.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others. To help the planet. Technology really can be an amazing thing.
It's a mind of its own, and that could kill it.
Have you examined this one? I got the feeling I have. Yep, I've done that one. Yep, they've actually gone to the level of explaining it in game, Avian. You're quite correct. How refreshing is that? We're not left to piece it together by ourselves.
All this time, I've been so focused on what Elizabeth was like, what she would do. I was wrong to hold Beta to that standard. I probably shouldn't even be doing it to myself. I'll try to do better.
So I'm not sure if it's an answer for why language hasn't itself changed in 1,000 years. Though, to be honest, our use of languages, it depends on what you count as evolution. Because a lot of the acronyms and things like that have definitely been an evolution in our language. Often for the worse, let's be honest. Oh, healing. Yes, please, I'll have that. Thank you. Yeah, Shakespearean English versus contemporary English, they are poles apart, aren't they? Some of the insults from Shakespearean periods were crazy as well. Such as wanton strumpet and things like that. Imagine calling someone that. You're a wanton strumpet! You'd have to thrust out your chest and lock your jaw to say it. I mean, it's not only the fact that side of English hasn't really evolved, but you've also got, look at how much Latin is like still used in things like in law. You still see people using phrases like res ipsa loquitur and phrases like that. It's crazy how some things just never seem to go out of fashion.
Hello again, Aloy. Hello, Aloy.
Hey, Gaia. So, me and Beta. Guess you heard what happened.
Yes. I am continuously impressed by the complexity of human relationships. Despite the unpleasant circumstances that led to your quarrel, I am pleased to see you have both found an agreeable resolution.
Well, two heads are better than one, right?
Yes, I believe so. Are you ready to depart for Cauldron Gemini? Or we can continue our conversation, if you like.
Oh, there are a few more things I can talk about. So, what about the question about the subordinate functions?
Have you been able to make use of Demeter's functions?
Yes. I was able to mitigate most soil conditions and restore a temporary balance. You should notice less rampant plant growth in the area.
Maybe that'll give Plainsong's fields a chance to recover.
Unfortunately, recovery in that area is unlikely without the assistance of the Utaru's land gods. I have discussed this matter with Zoe. I believe we may have a workaround.
Yeah, I'm helping her out with that.
Well, it's supposed to be, but I've kind of forgotten about it.
There's something I'm still trying to figure out. Why was Demeter using flying machines to distribute metal flowers?
In its deranged state, Demeter was defending itself against a robotic swarm that would devour all plant life.
It thought the Pharaoh Plague was still happening?
It feared it would come again. As part of its directive of receding Earth's vegetation, it sought to protect plant life at all costs. And considering it had 20 years to proliferate, I expect you will continue to find the fruits of its efforts for some time.
It's a good thing I have the code to dissolve the vines, then.
Ah, it's a lily-livered cat. I've never heard that one before, Avian, but it still again sounds like a you lily-livered cat. Has a very very upper lip, tough kind of voice to it.
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis Eleuthia was responsible for just.
Hang on, how have we put on subtitles? They weren't on before.
Human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Ted. Guess he got what he deserved, in the end.
Yes. An igneous conclusion to his pathological narcissism, impulsive tendencies, and instability.
So something about that settings is really annoying me. Bear me a second. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to find out where I accidentally turned on those things and I can't turn it off, and it's really annoying me. I just don't like the look of the black subtitles. It just does not look good. That's better.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. I think Elizabeth knew one of them. Tilda. Did she ever mention her to you?
No. Elizabeth often spoke of her work, or told stories of her mother and her childhood. If she knew this Tilda, she did not disclose it with me. What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
I mean, that's a very basic way of putting it, but still, something about that just doesn't ring right. Why would Elizabeth Sobek hide that she knew one of the potential remnants of the humanity who's gone off-world from Gaia? That doesn't make sense. Sure, she want Gaia to know of all possible threats. That something there's just not right. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
So, about Beta. I never really saw the difference between us. Until now. She's been through so much. Completely alone.
You have both endured many hardships. Different in almost every respect, yet equally remarkable. I like to think of you as 2 miracles, born of Elizabeth Sobek.
3, then. Let's not forget about you, Gaia.
Aww.
All this data I've picked up in ancient bunkers and ruins. I guess I never really thought that other people would be looking at it.
Based on my observations, your companions engage quite frequently with this material. Erend has asked on numerous occasions about birthday parties. He appears perplexed by the tradition of serving a sweet confection, as it conflicts with the Oseram tradition of serving sparkling stout ale. He also suggested we host a party for you, as a surprise.
Yeah, no thanks.
That is what I predicted.
Aloy's like, no, nix that right now, that way.
Is Katalo getting along with everyone?
Yes, Though he prefers to spend most of the time alone, he appears to be collating data on War Machine progression and significant battles during the Pharaoh Plague, to aid in the creation of a war map of Operation Enduring Victory. I believe he aims to study the tactics of Old World warfare.
I'd be interested in seeing that.
It appears to be a private pastime for him. He has repeatedly declined my offers to assist his research.
Yeah, you'd be the same, would you, Avian? I can understand, to be fair. Being the centre of attention at a party is tricky.
How's all of us settling in?
As soon as she arrived, Alva was eager to study the data in the archive. A particular file soon caught her attention. Information about a machine assistant devoted to keeping living spaces neat and orderly. I informed her that once I am empowered with the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to design such a machine.
I'm sure she'll like that. When I set out to find a way to bring you back, I never thought we'd be here, like this. Among friends.
They have all come a long way with their improvised educations. Varl has suggested that one day we might extend this model to more tribal inhabitants, once the biosphere has been stabilized.
Yeah, that's not such a bad idea. As long as you're the one running the lessons. So our plan to capture Hephaestus. Let's go over it again.
As you wish. Thanks to Beta's test, we now know that Hephaestus will not respond to your Alpha clearance.
Which is why I got Ted Pharaoh's Omega clearance.
Correct. While you were gone, Beta constructed the transport rig and pulse generators. When we get to Gemini, I will need to be installed on one of the facility's cores. The second core is for Hephaestus. Using Omega clearance will allow you to trap it.
And then you'll be able to absorb it.
Not quite. You will need to manually remove Hephaestus's malicious code before the merge.
How long will that take?
Because the work will be split between you and Beta, it will take approximately 4.5 hours.
And during that time, the others will create a distraction for us using the pulse generators, right?
Correct. They will each take position at a cauldron door and fire off their device. The energy surge should mask our activities until the merge is complete.
And then we'll have everything we need to defeat the Zeniths. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds too fucking easy. I don't like it.
So now that you have Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon, how's the biosphere looking?
In the local region, conditions have improved. Superstorms have subsided. Water sources have been purified, and soil conditions remediated. These improvements will stave off environmental collapse for a few additional months.
Well, with luck, soon you'll have Hephaestus. Then you'll be able to fix the biosphere for good, right?
Correct. I will be able to design and produce robotic agents to permanently reverse the environmental damage that has accumulated.
Is it just me who thinks that the Zeniths are letting Aloy do all this so that they can take Gaia back to Far Zenith? Their planet. Is it just me who thinks that's what the game is going for here? The classic bait and switch. You get all the key items and then the enemy gets it first, after you've done all the work for it. I hope
There's
not.
something I've been wondering. How could Ted Pharaoh create a clearance level higher than Alpha? Elizabeth made sure he wouldn't interfere with the project.
It is plausible he tasked his own engineers with creating a backdoor to the Zero Dawn system, without Elizabeth's knowledge. My predecessor did not even know of its existence until he activated it to purge the Apollo database. It is, in effect, a blind spot. One that will allow us to subdue Hephaestus.
Let's find out the old world.
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. Did all that she could. Thanks, Gaia.
Right, so you agree with me, do you, Avian? Yeah, it seems a bit too like that for me. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see, though.
So Gemini has 2 data cores. I've never seen a cauldron like that. But you mentioned something about seismic activity?
When my predecessor attempted to build the cauldron, construction was disrupted by a series of earthquakes. The data core had already been built, but the rest of the facility sustained damage. So, she began again. A second core was built. However, when more tremblers occurred, she abandoned the site.
Lucky for us. Are the quakes still happening?
No, though they did also create instabilities in other facilities in the region.
Interesting.
So the facility where I recovered Demeter used to be a Pharaoh agricultural research facility. It's where they created the biomass conversion system, but also adamantine wreath. Did Elizabeth know they were working on that?
It is likely she was briefed on other efforts to combat the machine swarm, though her focus was devoted only to Zero Dawn.
That makes sense. But they actually got the wreaths to work. If they've been able to deploy it against the Pharaoh Plague in time...
Using the data you recovered on the project, I ran several simulations and have concluded that it would never have worked. In all scenarios, the Pharaoh war machines would eventually hack and deactivate the wreaths before they could contain the swarm.
So Zero Dawn really was the only solution.
And look where it got us.
There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility about agriculture. Do you think it'll help the Quen fix their homeland?
I will run a query. Complete. The data contains information about novel crop production methods, which may be beneficial to the tribe in the long term.
But new crops aren't going to save the world, so I guess it's on us.
It is.
Now, did she literally just ask Google for an answer then, Gaia? That's what it seemed like she was doing.
So I, found Thebes. What do you think Ted would have done if his life extension treatments had worked?
It seems he convinced himself it was his duty to guide future humans. Given the tribal nature of new humans, and his ability to use Omega clearance on the terraforming system, I imagine he would have convinced one or more tribes to worship him as their patriarchal deity.
Okay. Yep, glad that didn't happen.
Yep, that's very Ted Farrow, alright. Make yourself think you're a god.
Aside from Gaia Prime and Thebes, there was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached it. Elysium. The place where Zero Dawn staff and their families went to live out their lives. Do you know what happened to it?
Elysium was designed to provide life support for 100 years. My data indicates the facility went offline well before then.
Did the Pharaoh Plague find them?
Unknown. My connection to the facility was abruptly severed.
Yeah, that's not convenient at all, is it?
I found some data in one of the rooms you unlocked. It mentioned that there are still functional seed banks beneath this facility. Why is it there?
My predecessor was tasked with reconstituting the biosphere with primary and secondary plant species. Had everything gone according to plan, humans would have eventually been able to introduce tertiary species, including new crops.
Can we access them now?
Unfortunately, it will have to wait. I require control over the machines in order to access and distribute the preserved seed stock.
And for that we need Hephaestus. It's something to look into later then.
Interesting.
So what will happen to this place while we're at Gemini?
All systems within this facility will continue to operate. As Minerva will no longer be masking this location, the facility will be exposed to detection. Though without my presence, it is unlikely to attract attention.
Let's hope so.
Yep. You really think so? Because I don't. As you say, Avian, it looks like a really obvious trap, but let's go.
Okay, people. It's time to head out.
I'll get everyone together.
All on chargers. The animation there is awful. The character models are fine, but the backdrop is dreadful. That does not look next gen at all. It's trying so hard to make a cinematographic view, but it just doesn't work. All the hills and everything else just look low res by comparison. So you believe we're fixing the Earth for the Zeniths, do you, Avian? Again, I don't disagree with you. It's either that or their own planet.
All right, connections in place. Booting up.
Beta, Aloy. I am fully installed on this core and ready to connect to the Cauldron network.
It's good to hear your voice. Erend, everyone. Fire your pulses and sound off.
I'm at my cauldron. This thingy, it's blinking. Did I do it right? In position at my cauldron. My pulse generator is blinking also.
That means they're working. I'm in position, and mine is too. Mine as well.
Okay, radio silence until I give the all clear. Signing off.
Yep. As you say, Evian, it is indeed a trap. I don't trust it at all.
Gaia, let's cage the beast.
Do I have a minigame to deal with here?
To the Cauldron network now.
Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance. Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance.
Clearance confirmed. Initiating containment sequence.
That doesn't sound ominous at all. Oh, look ominous, does it? Come on, that's a fucking skull!
Lock it down!
Terminating external connections.
It's working. It's got nowhere to go. Wait, what's that?
Malware detected. Attempting to compensate.
It's cracked.
Look!
Autonomous defenses. Collective neutralize.
That means machines are on their way.
Yep.
Get ready.
Here they come. They're onto us. Over here, you!
Oh, you're wounded. I'm not giving up. Oh.
I'm with you, Aloy! Aloy! Need a hand over here!
Yeah, I can kind of see that. So do I, mate. Right, plan B. Let's revert back to my classic mode.
Drawing away from Beta! Stay back! Get back!
Oh, weak against.
Ammo? Over here, you!
It's not ammo that I need. I just need plenty of shots.
Aloy! Get a hand over here!
We're safe, Aloy.
Stay back!
It's really angry.
I kind of see that, but right now I'm busy trying to select my ammo shot, so kind of piss off and leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
Over here, you!
Aloy, help!
Help me, Aloy!
Why don't you guys help yourselves? I can't heal you all the time when I keep getting knocked on my arse.
I'm up! I can fight!
Okay, you're up. Good, great, nice one.
Draw it away from Beta! Stay back!
It's really angry.
Get back! Over here, you!
Okay, ammo to be crafted. Thank you. I'll do. Oh,
Aloy! Need a hand over here!
I know you do, and I'm trying to sort it out for you. Give me a second.
That was a well-placed hand! Draw it away from Beta!
Val, will you kindly shut up? I know what I'm doing. Stop repeating. I've always hated repetitive dialogue in games. It's always really annoying.
Aloy, here's some ammo!
Right now, I'm more interested on health. Thank you very much.
You should get somewhere safe, Aloy.
No, I'm busy fighting the fight. I know what I'm doing.
Let's do this!
Gotcha.
Get back!
Your body's covered in acid. That's all of them for now.
Okay.
You okay?
Still breathing.
Aloy, Hephaestus can't escape, but it must have fled.
That's cool. Excuse me for a moment, I've got stuff to grab. Get up. Thank you. Excellent. Man, that's not very good. That's better.
Refill my pouch with these later.
I actually almost fell into the lava at one point there. You say it's laughing almost. Yes, it was, but the fact of the matter is it's dead now, whereas I've managed to survive. The revive mechanic, while I understand it, and I understand its place, I don't like the fact that you have a time limit for it. It can be very difficult to really get in position to know what you're doing, if you know what I mean. Acid traps, I'll use those, they could come in handy.
Deeper into the facility. I'll drive it back here. I'll get the cracked core fixed in the meantime.
Good.
We're safe, Varl.
All my life.
And I'll pick up the advanced hunter arrows while I'm here. Yep, some more ammo there, I'll have that.
How do you
Oh.
like me now?
I could have done with finding that earlier, but never mind. Too late for that now. Right, let's head into the facility then. It's up this way.
Okay, let's see. Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage.
Up over there, it's gotta be. Let's go.
Okay, I gotta chase after Hephaestus. Force it out of wherever it's hiding. Make it retreat to the core. No, you don't, Hephaestus! I'll find another way over.
Unfortunately, that's too...
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed. You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber. Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there. I'll create some distance first.
Okay. Oh, no, I would. What the... Ah. And that's going to be a way to climb. Awesome. So apart from wasting a couple of acid shots, which I really didn't want to do, we're clear now. Yes, I'm having loot. How much loot do I want? All the loot in the world. I want all the loot possible. Because you know how I play these games, people. You've watched me for long enough.
It's some kind of production chamber. Festus is up to something, all right?
Yep.
What kind of machine is it trying to build? I don't know, but I'm gonna shut it down. I bet those metal carriers will lead me to where it's getting materials from. I bet that's where Festus is hiding too.
Okay, so how do I get there? There's got to be a way to climb. Oh, hello. I'll have that. Let's just run on through.
I gotta find where Festus is hiding. Looks like there are a couple of ways I could go. Well, that doesn't sound good. Machines are making a beeline for another chamber. I better follow them.
Climb up. Get up.
the shield.
That's fine, but first of all, I want to find myself some...
I've managed to rewire most of the components in the core, but the energy processor's cracked. Without a way to fabricate another, there's no way I can fix it. Okay, let me think. What if you bypass the processor? Connect it to the power node. I think that could work. Okay. There should be an energy controller near the central platform. Thanks. I should take these machines first.
Weak against frost, is it? Okay, let's use that now.
That ice ought to make it.
Underneath, into the weak spot. Thank you, you're all dead, which is exactly how I want you to be. The more of you that are dead, the better. Meanwhile, Queen Jumping Insane made it, essentially for half an hour, and we are in a cauldron indeed. We're in a cauldron deep in the... deep on. But it's more a quest cauldron rather than a regular cauldron. This is a big one. That's annoying. There's some cover points there I could have used, but I never bothered to do it. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Ooh, what the okay, what the... Oh, right. There was a secret way after all. Could have used that for cover.
Oh, great. More machines on the way. Beta! Hephaestus has locked me out of the node. Any ideas? I'll see what I can do.
Weak against frost. Okay, come on. Come around here. I know for a fact that you're weak to... You're weak to ice, so come round this way. You know what, Arthur Jack also jumping in asking what's been going on with Aloy here. Answer is she's deep in a cauldron in the other side of the area. And as you can see, being hunted by some rather dangerous enemies. So it's nice to see you on here as well, Arthur Jack. How are you doing, mate? How is this working? I could silent strike it, but it'd immediately know I was here. Whereas if I stay like this, as slow as it is, this works. This is cheap, but it's working. Might try a regular hunter ammo. Yeah, it did more damage. Because it did more damage, it's not enough to actually finish it off. But the thing is that you say I'm hiding in the Smoke Queen, but it's not exactly the best hiding spot in the world, but somehow it's doing the job. So for now, I'm going to keep hiding. In fact, I might see if I can knock one of its edges off. Uh-oh. So much for that plan. That's not worked. It put its snout right next to me and saw me coming. I don't want to use that weapon. I do not want to use that weapon. Boom. That's helpful. Weak against lightning. Okay, I can work with that. Weak against lightning, are you? Well, stuck on this then. They're also weak against frost, which is irritating. The hell? Ah, that's why. I was stuck in a wall. I'm like, why can't I move? I'm there to myself, why aren't you dodging? Why aren't you evading? And then I'm like, ow, that'll be why. I'm in completely the wrong space. It's hard to dodge when you're rolling up against a solid wall. I've heard of people being good, but I don't think they're that good. That'll do it. It's a fast shooter, that'll do it. I should have hit it in the face, but I must have ducked away from it. No big deal. That's you gone. You're next. Anybody else? The music suggests there is more enemies, but I'm not hearing them just yet. There we are. That's more like it. I knew there was one. Come on then. Face me like a man. Actually, no. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kill you.
got them all.
Bye-bye.
I tapped into the core's network hub. I managed to disrupt Hephaestus' control of the node. You should be able to override it now.
Excellent. Okay.
Nice. Thanks.
So in the interim then, any more hidden power-ups for me to grab here while I've got a chance? I want loot. All the loot in the world. I say you're going to a cosplay meetup this weekend, are you, Arista Jack? Which one are you going to? Out of curiosity, because I'm at one, but it's in Halifax. I'm at a Geek Retreat opening. And I will be in cosplay. I will be bringing my Alice cosplay out to play. Yes, you will all die for me if you go to that event. So apologies for the brief period I wasn't speaking then, because I needed to focus on getting the job done.
Sounds like it fled to another chamber.
Well, I better not get comfortable.
But you can do for now, because I'm busy looting crates and finding items and everything else. I'm not leaving behind anything that I can possibly find. Okay, it looks like we're clear. And I think it's in that direction we need to go. Let's not jump into the electricity.
Festus covered the floor with lightning. I gotta find a way over it.
Aloy, more machines keep coming. Please tell me you're getting close.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I've been smashing through a lot of machines on my side too.
Oh, right, so there's
Missing out.
a meeting in Leeds this weekend, is there?
Progress on the bypass, but I need something to hold the cycling module together.
Maybe a ligament from one of the machine carcasses?
Right. Or some luminous braiding.
You could reinforce it with a conversion cylinder.
For increased connectivity. I think we can do this, Aloy.
I'm glad that you think that, because I'm at the moment struggling to make head and tail where I'm supposed to be bloody going. According to this, I need to head through here, but... Unless... Ah, hang on. That's where. Yes, there is a Halifax literally right in the next town on from me, Queen. That's actually true.
I should be able to catch a ride on one of those metal carriers.
If I was coming over to Canada for a random store opening, I would need to be paid a lot of money. Because I don't see how I could realistically do it. Oh, there's more machines. That's not what I needed. I need them not to see me.
Just a little longer. Alright. Need to drive Hephaestus out of here.
There should be another node to override.
Got it. Time to follow up!
It's weak against something I don't have equipped. So, plan B. It's not exactly the way you're supposed to do it, but it does the job. So I'm not complaining. Ah, so someone from occurrence over near you, Queen, actually did a full store opening and got expenses paid for them. That's amazing. That doesn't happen over here unless you're a pro cosplayer. And let me tell you now, I'm not pro. You've seen my cosplays. They're fun, but they ain't pro. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad about that. Too many people think that you have to be a professional to be into your art, and it's just not the way it works. Weak against lightning. Not what I needed to do. Oh, wait a second. Weak against frost. Gotta love long distance strikes. They do enough damage. Yes, people, do you remember when this was fun? I do. Of course, those of you who watch my Devil May Cry streams will know just how much I suffer sometimes when I play these games. But you suffer for your art, and that's how you survive. Right, we're gonna get locked out again. I think we are.
Oh, here we go again.
That doesn't sound good. I'll try to get your access back.
That's fine, but in the interim, I need to find some machines that are apparently coming after me. They're here somewhere. It said kill the machines. There's one of them now. Weak against acid. Okay, this is cowardly, but I don't care. Okay, it decided to retaliate. I don't really blame it. I'd have retaliated too. So this is the cheap way of doing it, I must admit. But it worked. That's the key thing. It might be cheap, but it works. Now, where's the other one hiding? There he is. Oh. That taught me a lesson. No.
Better.
Sorry guys, but you're gonna have to do better than that. You had the right idea, but the problem is you didn't keep me down, did you? Now, where are you? Ah, I see a health bar there. Ah, hello. One of those fell over. That's how you do it.
And there. Node access restored. Now you can override it.
Good work.
Those drilling spears are quite dangerous. They do a good job. I'll give them that. They do what they do what they're designed for. That's fine. Drop me down, thank you. Oh, excellent. I'll search the repair pod. That'll come in handy. And where's the machine that I killed? Ah, there you are. Thank you. You're next. Yes, I admit this might be a rather cheesy strategy, but the game lets you do it. A wise hunter chooses their battleground with care. Or in my case, they see a way to escape and they take it. Some people would say it's intelligence, I'd say it's exploiting the environment. They could be one and the same, maybe.
Okay. Festus is running out of places to hide.
Aloy? I just registered a huge energy surge back in the production chamber. Something big is happening.
Yep.
Here too. Everything's glowing.
Why am I not surprised?
Finished it.
So the machine it summoned is, oh god, some kind of behemoth.
I'm almost done with the core repairs. Should we come to you? Maybe I could distract the machine if...
No, Beta.
Yeah,
Just stay where you are.
don't do that. Don't you guys try fighting this thing.
Okay.
Realistically, I shouldn't fight it either, but we've got no choice in the matter. The first things first is I've got to find my way back. And it ain't that way because that's where there was a bunch of secret items. Unless... yeah, of course. Go back over the lightning pits. That's where I've got to go. Here we go, people. It's time for some Le Parkour. Many years ago, I tried doing Le Parkour. It didn't go very well. Right. Okay. Let's go in. Let's get some more ammo in for these guys. Here it comes.
I should scan it first.
I already am.
Its legs are glowing. I think it's charging up.
Weak against ice and that, so that's the only thing it's weak against. Right, okay. In which case, this is my only weapon of choice.
Finished charging. It's covered in plasma. It's frosted over.
Okay, back to the frosted ammo.
We got plasma on me. It's gonna explode any second. It's charging up again. I need fresh water. Wasn't enough.
Okay. So far, so good.
Oh,
What the hell? Some kind of laser beam that was meant impossible to dodge. It's okay, I'm alive. I'm not died. I'm not dead yet. Oh, there we go.
it's done.
You did it! There should be one more note to override.
Good. Stand by. I'm sending Hephaestus back to you.
Okay, that was not as bad as I thought it would be. I don't know why, but it seems to only want to attack me at certain points, and I'm not entirely sure what its crack was there. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. That was a weird one. That was surprising. Maybe it's the fact that there was no other goons around to help it out, because that's usually the way these games go, isn't it? There we are, there's the other node. Now, is this where he trolls me and brings another enemy back to life?
No more hiding, Hephaestus!
Facility core.
Make sure it stays there. I'm heading back.
And then we can start the merge.
Because of you, Beta. I'm glad you came along. And you, Paul.
It's I wish it was the through the parkour that that's how I broke my arm. The way it broke my arm was far more lame. I literally was out walking and fell over a wall. I literally had the parkour would have had an excuse. Here I don't have an excuse. And no worries. Can you enjoy the rest of your shift, and I'll catch up with you later. Fingers crossed it goes all right. I've still got the purple sheen around me for some reason.
Aloy, the core is stable. Festus is 100% contained. Now we better get started with the merge. It's all set up. Gaia, establish the link, please.
Done.
Red codes? That's not ominous at all.
Okay, to complete the merge, we need to excise Hephaestus's malicious code. Carefully.
Right. This isn't me. I'm not playing a minigame here. It's about not playing real time for 4.5 hours now. I will not be impressed.
Aloy, look.
There, she's given us a Charizard. I guess. Yep, here we are. Here come Far Zenith.
Well, hello, redundant copy. You cost us quite a lot of time. Eric, get Beta. And squash that bug while you're
Haha, nice one, Val. Okay, it's not gonna kill him, but it was a good shot.
Get behind me.
Come on! Quit screwing around.
Now we're having fun, right?
Yep, I knew she couldn't do it.
Finally. Tilda, get Gaia and Hephaestus ready for transport. Tilda!
I failed.
Hush. All is not lost.
Tilda!
Oh, told us to turn sides. Okay. Evidently Tilda was a good guy all along, apparently. Double agent. I like that. Because it's going to turn out that Tilda is Elizabeth. Didn't this happen last time we fell out of a cauldron?
Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain. I can assure you that we are safe. The others can't detect us here.
You mean the other Zeniths? You must be Tilda.
I wasn't sure if Beta would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive. And while she isn't where she wants to be, not in urgent danger. We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs. When you're ready, take the stairs down the hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast? Okay.
Well, this lady's got style. So is one of the things I said before now going to come true? That is a little bit. And that's why we never heard them one and the same. Apparently they discovered a campfire. There's a campfire here?
Why did Tilda bring me here?
If there's a campfire, I don't see it. We're in some kind of military base which is far too clean. So that tells me we're definitely somewhere where we're not supposed to be. In terms of the game's the game's narrative was supposed to be here, but this is definitely not part of the overall plan, if you know what I mean. And she's playing the classical music. So we are going to be at that place overlooking the lake that she talks about, that Beta talked about. You know, when she was in the...
Some kind of survival bunker?
Yes. Complete with glass pods, which are designed to cryostasis human life. I like that. I love that shadow effect there, actually. I like the fact that they've actually gone to the effect of making the shadows in this room shrink and raise. That's a really nice effect that you wouldn't normally notice. Can you see it? It's strange that they managed to do that really well, but during that cutscene earlier, all the background was foggy and low res. It seems bizarre that they got the priorities so upside down. Yep, I'm right.
A few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain.
Well, the art examination is optional, apparently, so let's take a look. Do you have to examine it with the focus, or do you just look at it in general?
My favorite pairing. On the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery. Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh no. I made my real fortune later.
What is that? Is that some kind of eye code, isn't it? I can't examine it or anything, but that's interesting. Well, go on then.
Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn. This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home. The ancient city of Jerusalem. He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it. So instead, he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits. A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Oh, here we go. Looks like a revolution painting, this one.
Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential citizens.
I guess you must have been an influential citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you've been in this new world.
Why are you sucking up to me all of a sudden, Tilda? Answers now.
The Gust. By Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
So there's an unknown beast site outside, so we're definitely on our way back. That looks like a piece of art.
Stunning, isn't it? Paintings were the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's Lidded Ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function.
Oh, look at the low-res folks on Aloy here.
Was less important than its
Oh, that's creepy.
Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial?
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow.
That's really weird. Look at Aloy's face there. What's going on with that? That's really, really fucking weird.
She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness, out of grief. It's hard to watch her suffer.
There are days where I've wanted to tear my hair out at work.
A lot of weight on his shoulders. I know the feeling.
And that's supposed to be Atlas, but there's no world in it.
I've got more important things to worry about.
We both do. There is much we are trying to save. Not the least of which is in that vault. There's nothing wrong with savoring such treasures for a moment more. Or come upstairs and we'll get down to business. Your choice.
That's suggesting that there's another thing to be examined, but I don't see anything I could examine. Unless she's now going to be allowed to examine these, and the answer is no. Yeah, nothing to examine back here either. Well, I've examined everything, so on we go, I guess. Let's get going. Unless there's something back here. That's disappointing. I thought there might be like some loot or something hidden here on these boxes, but apparently not. That's disappointing. That's a very big disappointment. What about here? Ooh. A hidden vault that I can't get access to. That's interesting. Why is that going to play an important role later? Here we go.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
I think she wants answers, not food. Very civilized, though, it must be said.
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
An old focus.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen
incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back, and I haven't even come close.
The Ross one
I'm
must.
sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible.
Well, no, we saw one of them die.
In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, He's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Yeah. Regala and her rebels.
Even now she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
On one hand, she could have easily taken them if it was a trap. On the other, doesn't it sound like someone's got too many control of the chess pieces? Let's go around. Let's find out.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
You've lived an immortal life for 1,000 years, and you've planned an invasion, and now suddenly you've watched the focus and gone, actually no, I'm going to switch sides. Yes. I'm not so sure.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
Yeah, exactly. What is the true motive, Avian? Exactly. I'm curious. I want more information.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the Earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again, but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
Let's talk about Beta. I'm curious.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be. But her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
Every time she's moving, it's creating the tessellated effect, which is obviously meant to be her shield. But it makes me think of crystals. I wonder if that's the weakness that Silence has uncovered, perhaps. Like, maybe, if you ever shine a light into a glass orb, it gets the prism effect where it refracts light. I wonder if he's found a way to do that so it exposes the shield and essentially removes the crystalline layer.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes. Though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
She felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
So, go on, and we know that they want to plan to make the world perfect for the Immortals, but what exactly does that entail? Here we go.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
So my earlier prediction, it seems, is not going to come true. Thank fuck for that. I said I would be bitterly disappointed if we had to go and invade their planet and setting up for a third game to do that. But if the planet's been completely destroyed, unless this is all a lie, that won't happen.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
It's a basic plan. Sometimes the simplest plans are the best ones, less to go wrong. On the flip side, there's less to go right.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
I'm sorry, Silence randomly creating a weapon that bypasses your one weakness. And you say you've not been able to figure that out? I smell a truckload of bullshit here. There's no fucking way that you have one Achilles heel and one random human, no matter how intelligent, has developed a machine to get around it. There's something else that's missing here. I'm gonna find it.
Regala's only interested in killing Hekarro and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zenith?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hekarro.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tenakth are cut down outside.
Yeah, see, that's one problem with AI. She's not happy to do that, considering that one of the Tenakth was one of their Farah.
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
Yeah, because she didn't trust you.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning. A touchy subject in those days. Because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
So with that in mind, what's this other way?
First Varl. Now Hekarro and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it.
Aloy throwing down the gauntlet. So this is, am I going to get control of Aloy to find Beta?
What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge. Contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
Surely they'd know where this is, though, wouldn't they, all the Zeniths?
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Sylens' army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regalla and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister.
Oh.
Will be Sylens' only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regalla's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenakth. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regalla's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Sylens to the table.
Not if. When. Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Well, let's take a look around here, because now we've actually got more exploratory things. We might find some more information. Let's have a look at what we've got here, for instance. Data corruption severe. All the makers of the next big thing. A much ballyhooed acquisition from an art historian turned technologist, no less. Bleeding edge scientist and a great narrative to boot. The application was called YCITT, after the young Christ in the Temple, a well-known Vermeer forgery. By creating perfect holographic scans of individual layers of a painting and comparing them to a vast library of artistic works, it was able to identify fakes with an unprecedented level of accuracy. But it was clear to Sterling executives that the program's ability to match and identify patterns had broad applications outside of the art world. As a tool for security, counter-surveillance, or digital authentication, it could prove just as revolutionary as it had in its intended role. Which is why they were willing to sign a 9-figure agreement for it. Blasting news of the deal to every outlet in the tech media. 2 years later, the project collapsed in a chaotic jumble of lawsuits, recriminations, and accusations of sabotage. So what went wrong? Who was responsible? And most importantly, what happened to the underlying technology, which by all accounts was far more powerful than the vaporware label applied by disgraced executives? Data corrupted. Yes, that alone gets my attention. An old abandoned car, looks like a taxi.
Just to let you know, I'm now patched into your focus network.
Right. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
That's fine, but in the interim, what I'm trying to do is... Oh, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Never mind. I should have read that, but I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. So here's our coastal view, people. Isn't that beautiful? And as we can see, we're deep in the southern parts, and there's actually also a cauldron nearby, would you believe? Meanwhile, there's a campfire somewhere near here, on the outskirts. You go up the stairs.
Looks like there's more to this place. I'm sure Tilda won't mind me poking around. Gotta get through these vines.
Oh, well, that helps. There's a metal flower here somewhere.
This'll be over quick with frost ammo.
Okay, there's a metal flower down there. So how do I get to it? Ah. That'll be how. A lot of solar panels up here. So, somewhere in here is a way down. So the question is, how do I get down there without going back to where I came before? Because right below me is the place where we have breakfast, from what I can see. Right, for now, let's go and find a save point, because yeah, so I found another one. Cyber attack by far-right anti-migrant group. Purity Action Europe reversed key instructions to the city's new storm surge barriers, rendering them fully open during a massive extratropical cyclone. The resulting flood cascaded through the city in a matter of minutes, effectively wiping it from the face of the earth. I was one of the lucky ones, recalls Tilda van der Meer, who was 8 at the time of the attack. My family was wealthy. We had a watertight vault for some of our most precious belongings. My father locked me inside when he went to look for my mother, so I waited there, in silence, as the warders rose, praying every moment that my parents would return. They never did. As horrible as that sounds, Tilda was lucky indeed. In addition to her parents, the flood killed more than 100,000 people, including approximately 40,000 climate refugees from data corrupted. Maybe it's not, but right now I'm not planning to anyway. Yes, this is the outside area. Somewhere around here there is a metal flower. And if I can find it, I can take it down. If I can take it down, I can explore the area, but unfortunately there's a lot of places to fall here, and I don't want to fall now. Now's not a good time for that. So let's try and make it to this campfire safely. Sneaking. We're almost there. And breathe, we made it. We haven't saved for absolutely ages. We haven't saved, believe it or not, people, for nearly 2 hours. Just to prove it, look at that. 92 hours. We've literally only just saved after 2 hours of play. And well, with that in mind, I can't think of a better point for us to call it there for tonight. So, we've managed to go further, we've got deeper into a cauldron, and we've understood what one of the supposed Far Zenith is. The question is, can we work together? We're going to pick this up over the weekend, but however, we're going to be back on Good Friday at 8 PM BST, where we are going to start a playthrough, so long as I can get the capture working, of Dishonored. That's what we're going to be picking up on the Good Friday. It's coming up in 2 nights' time, 8 PM BST. We're calling it there for tonight. Until then, thank you all very, very much for watching, and good night.